The real discussion, though, is what happens if Heath Evans didn't make it? Is Heath Evans upset that he gave up so much of his life?
Well, I got to say, hard work works.
I've learned a lot over the 4 decades of health and fitness and being in the trenches with the greatest in the world. And one of those things I've learned a lot more about and how to build better muscle is nutrition and how it has changed over the decades. And that's why I have the Titan meal plan for you guys out there that are confused about nutrition. I'm going to set you straight. Get a hold of me today. The link will be in the comments down below for you guys. Everybody, get over to the Titan meal plan, and I'll see you in the Titan crew where I will fine-tune any difficulties that you're having. You guys definitely know, or should know, my boy Heath Evans, NFL vet, 10 years in the league, and I thought there'd be nobody better to talk about sacrifice over dreams, or not even, that's not correct. It is, I guess, the things you have to sacrifice to create the dreams. That'd be better put, correct?
For sure. You're always laying something aside to chase what you want, right?
Right.
Then we got to weigh those things out, and is it worth it?
So you and I kind of talked a little bit about the movie magazine Dreams, and the concept that it seems as though the fitness people kind of took away from it, and they felt that it wasn't a good representation of what the fitness industry is. Um, I'm a grown man. I understand it well enough that most things aren't the way you would hope it would be. They're a little bit more violent or harsh, or the reality of it is that not everybody wins. That's just the reality of life. When you're chasing a dream. What I thought was amazing about the movie well, I don't want to say what I thought was amazing. I want to talk to you about the things that you had to sacrifice to create a 10-year. First of all, if you don't understand the average of, I don't know what the average is of making it to an NFL player, but I know that's slim to none. But even if you get there, the average is a couple of years for some of the best. The average is, I guess, a couple of years. And so you made it 10 years. That is in my opinion, a lunchbox mentality. You showed up every day and put in the most intense work you possibly could. Can you tell us what you kind of gave up to try to reach that in a nutshell, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it starts in kind of different maybe segments of life, right? When we were young, and we've talked about, our days, my days in Palm Beach County, your days in Kirkland, Washington, our days look different than everyone else's, right? We weren't drinking, right? We really weren't we might have been we might have been getting in trouble some other ways, but we weren't doing the drugs, we weren't partying, we weren't doing all those things. And so even from a sacrificial standpoint of things we were going to eat, things we were going to drink, when we were taking our butts to bed, right? For me in Palm Beach County, the football world was so rich, but a lot of those rich athletes were troublemakers. So I wasn't hanging out with them, right? I wasn't even working out with them. I think from a high school standpoint, when things got serious for both you and I, it was late night meals when we didn't feel like eating, right? Going to bed most nights kind of like sick to your stomach because you're just so full trying to eat enough calories to keep up with the building process. Because for you, it was more kind of strength training, and in your football days, like football was there, but your mindset was kind of always focused a little bit different than mine. But for me, it was, man, I'm running 90 minutes a day, and then I'm busting at the gym 90 minutes a day. So, I mean, this caloric input has to be so significantly higher than the average high school athlete just to keep up with the workload. So, you sacrifice comfort, right? You sacrifice probably time with your boys. A lot of those things come into play, right? In college, I got made fun of, not really made fun of, I'm a grown man, but on Friday nights, you'd find me in the club. I was getting in trouble because the owner of the Gold's Gym was calling Coach Kevin Yoxel, my strength coach, and was ratting me out for doing extra workouts and overtraining. And so Yox would yell and scream at me on Monday when I came in when I was doing too many workouts, right? So the sacrifice, obviously, looking back, was well worth it. I mean, what's some parties? What's some alcohol? What's some whatever? But at the time, your boys are like, man, come to this party, do this, do that. And, just kind of level headed thinking, I was like, I don't need to be doing that stuff anyway.
I want to make sure that everybody who's watching understands the age we were. First of all, we grew up on different sides of United States, but the similarities was amazing when we got into depth to talk about it. And I know he said about high school and stuff, but this started for us in elementary school. I don't think you guys comprehend when we're talking about not hanging out with the friends, that we started the eating, we started the training in the garage with dads. It started at such a young age. Um, and so there was all that time. We didn't just wait till high school, the last couple of years. All right, we're not partying no more. We're taking this serious. So there was a good, you know, um, good years of us creating that mentality of this is what we want. We wanted that pro football, and like you said, I had a desire or an ache for something a little different. But we both trained football constant in those young years, and the food. It's great that you said that because I feel that kids don't start taking food seriously, especially at the ages we did. And I got lucky because I know you talked about the school was rich, with you guys growing up there and stuff. I got lucky because I was around a whole bunch of athletes that thought like Heath. And so I got into a circle that there was a lot of us like that were loners and playing these kind of sports. So my recommendation for you guys out there is understand you're giving up something. The real discussion though is what happens if Heath Evans didn't make it? Is Heath Evans upset that he gave up so much of his life and didn't get this? And I know that's a hard thing to say because you did make it, but you have to know how many people were with you in college and high school that didn't make it.
Well, I got to say, hard work works. My hard work might not have worked to get me to the NFL, but that hard work was going to work for something else. The discipline, the focused effort, the hard work, it teaches you things in a process. So I've worked hard pretty much my whole life, right? Nothing could have prepared me for what happened in NFL Network back in 2018. I busted my butt. I outstudied, I outperformed, I outworked everyone at NFL Network. They could call me at any time, and I was going to go jump on air, and I'd be prepared and ready to talk with the best of the best about any aspect of the NFL game. Well, the NFL screws me over, and one woman buries 8 guys that probably didn't do anything. But yet, all that hard work before, even though I got canceled from NFL Network and screwed over, all that hard work, it's not like that didn't pay dividends for these last 7 years. It's not like that hard work still isn't affecting me today. That hard work prepared me for hard things. And so no one has any guarantees in life other than we're going to die, right? So, what are we going to do with our days, our times, our talents, and hard work is always going to work. I could have worked as hard as you did in every area of diet and bodybuilding, and it was never going to pay the dividends that it paid for you. Your sculpture of your body is second to none. My knock knees look nothing like your perfect knees, right? Your bicep attachment, even though you have really long arms because you're 6'2 plus, your physical body, the way God made you, is built to be beautiful, right? I'm thick, I'm dense. We always joke, I'm the refrigerator, right? Um, and so, but my hard work in all these areas still paid massive dividends, even though I don't look like you, right? And so I think we look at sacrifice poorly most often because if we're sacrificing for good things, right? and we're giving up maybe not even bad things, but maybe just a lesser thing, and we don't ultimately get what we were going after. The way life works out, hard work just always works. It just always points a man in the right direction.
It's that time again to get my blood work done to see where my numbers are. Again, the one big thing for me is I'm keeping track of it. It's so precise. You know, I competed in bodybuilding and powerlifting and martial arts, but that was all over decades ago. And so how can I continue to keep this physique and be this strong at this stage? And so that is by optimizing my health with Titan Medical. It all stems from one thing: your blood work, what's going on inside of you. And that's the main thing that I'm focused about, is see how I can continue to not just be in the game. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a weekend warrior. I don't want to say you got a dad bod. I want to be the pinnacle of the health and fitness industry decades after I competed. And I've always said this too. You got so many of these guys that were with me in the 80s and 90s, and they keep putting the pictures up from the 80s and 90s. I don't want to be that guy. I like the fact that I can still put up pictures of me today, even though I won the universe back in the 90s. That's the goal for me. I don't know what your goal is, but I can tell you this. I know you want to live, and I know you want to live your best life. And that starts with blood work. Over at Titan Medical, start today.